Hi there, and welcome to another cooking video. Today I'm going to show you how I make beef samosas. Now they originate from India and Pakistan and are normally eaten as a snack. They're excellent as plated food for parties and social gatherings, and they're very tasty. However, if you're on a diet, I'd probably avoid them because they are quite high in calories. So here's a list of the ingredients that you'll need to make both the filling and the pastry. It's fairly straightforward and you can buy all the ingredients at your local supermarket. Right, so we'll start off with some coriander. Basically we want to chop the leaves up, so we'll just separate the leaves from the stalks. You want to end up with about 2 tablespoons of this. I've probably got a bit more than I need there. But too much is better than too little. So we just chop it up. There is actually probably about 2 tablespoons there, so that's enough. Now we're going to chop up the ginger. All this is for the actual meat filling. So you want to chop it up fairly finely. Just pop that onto a plate and put it to one side. Okay, now we're going to chop up 2 onions. Now we are actually going to keep each onion separate because the first chopped onion, or one chopped onion, goes in at the beginning when you're cooking the filling, so that gets fried, and then the second chopped onion gets added right at the end when you've turned the heat down or turn the heat off. So that's why I keep them separate. I'm just showing here the easiest way to actually chop them up fairly quickly. We're just going to pop it in a bowl. As I said, 1 bowl for each onion. So you've got 2 bowls there. I won't show the second onion being chopped up. Just do it like you did the first one. Right, now to start making the filling. So you need a tablespoon of ghee, or you can use sunflower oil or vegetable oil. Just turn it up to medium heat. What I've done here, I've put a little timer, which is time elapsed. So it gives you a good idea of it at what stage or how much time has elapsed before I carry out each new event, if you like, such as adding things. So that will come up on the right of the screen. Right, we're shortly going to add our first chopped onion. Is there another one there?
Yeah. Yeah, there's one on top.
Okay, I'll get it. Just stir that around until the onions go soft. Now you're going to add a bit of garlic, 1 clove, now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of chopped ginger. Stir that in. Just keep going until the onions are soft. So now we add 2 teaspoons of medium curry powder. This can be like general supermarket curry powder, doesn't really matter. Can use brand name if you want, but I find that there's no real difference, apart from one being cheaper than the other. Now we need a bit of salt, so we're just adding that. And 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And just keep stirring. Right, now we're going to add 250 grams of minced beef. The elapsed time is 13 minutes, so the onion and all the other ingredients are sort of softened up and cooked. So we're going to cook the beef until it's brown. Turn the heat up slightly once you've added the beef. Okay, once the beef is brown, we're going to add 100 millilitres of hot water. Now we're going to turn the heat down slightly and we're going to put the lid on. And what we want to do is have the meat absorb all the water. And this takes a wee while. Just check it and stir it occasionally. Well, I think the water is pretty much absorbed. It's still giving off some steam, so we'll give it a few more minutes. Pop the lid back on. I think it's pretty much done. Right, so now we're going to add a teaspoon of Garam Masala. This is a spice you can get in the supermarket. It's already mixed up. Now you chop coriander. Mix that well in. Now you just turn the heat off, and then you're going to add the second chopped onion. We've got a fairly dry filling there. Right, now it's time to make the pastry. So what we want to do here is you want to make 300 grams of sifted flour. So basically I just put a sift or a sieve over a bowl, and I just measure what I shake in, like that. And when I've got 300 grams, then that's it, get on to the next stage. So we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. And some oil, a tablespoon of oil. You can use ghee, but here I used sunflower oil. Now you just want to mix all that in, and then add the water. 100 millilitres of warm water altogether, but I just add it in a bit at a time, really, so that it's easier to mix it all in. Now you've got to start kneading it. Just keep mixing it in with your fingers. What we're going to do now is add a bit of flour to the worktop, and then we're going to start kneading it on the worktop, which is basically just pushing it in and working it until it's all like pastry. I find it's quite a stiff pastry. So it takes a bit of hard work to actually mix it all in. Right, once that's done, you're gonna just cut it into pieces. So you want, I don't know, 3 or 4 pieces, just sort of size so that you can work with, roll it out. So you're just going to start rolling it out flat. Now you're going to take your round cutter. You can use anything as a cutter. This one is purpose made, but you can put a saucer or something on just so that you get a circle. Want to roll it out a little bit more, keeping the circle shape. And then you cut it in half. So basically you've got like a half moon shape, really. Half a circle. A little bit more rolling, just to make sure that it's even thickness. Now you start folding it. This is probably about the 4th or 5th one I did, because I couldn't actually remember how to fold it properly. But this is the way you do it, so that you make a little funnel and you just seal the bottom of the funnel. So you use some water on a brush. That helps to bind the pastry together. And then you add your filling into the funnel. Just push it down. And you just fold the sides and then seal it using the water on the brush again. And seal the corners as well. That's how to do it properly. As I said before, I did do a couple before, and I did it different ways, so they look a bit odd. But I got there in the end. That's the way to do it properly. And put it on with the rest on the baking tray. And just doing the same as you did before. I'll only show a couple of these just so that you get the idea.
Can make a little hat out of this. Little pastry hat. The last one. Yay.
Last one. Always run out of mixture before you've used all the pastry up. That's what I tend to find anyway. Right, that's all of them assembled, ready to go in the fryer. I'm just going to punch some holes in to let any steam out when they're in the fryer. It's just so that they vent. If they don't vent, then they could actually burst the pastry seams. Ready to be fried. Okay, so we turn the fryer on.
Frying time.
I generally set this to about 190 to 200 degrees centigrade. You want a plate and a towel, or kitchen towel, to actually put the fried ones on. Right, and I think we're ready to go. So just pop in a few at a time. Down they go. That looks like they're done. Take those out and put the next batch in. Managed to get 4 in there.
There they are.
Okay, they're all done. So we're just going to cut one in half, just to show you what they look like on the inside. Probably help if I put the plate on the worktop and cut it. There you go, beef samosas. Very nice. They do taste really nice, but as I said, they've got quite a high calorie content. It's all that frying. And they do make excellent table food, plate food, or plated food for social gatherings and parties and such like. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit long, but there's an awful lot to get through in making samosas. If you like the video, then please hit the like button. And if you want to see future videos that I bring out, then hit the subscribe button to get notified. I try to produce videos once a week, and I try to vary the content of the food that I show you how I cook. So hopefully I'll see you the next time. Bye for now.